This is Final Voice TV. Today, I take you to Africa, Mother Africa. Do you know about the story of Africa? A mother of 1,000 languages. So if you move from Ghana to Zimbabwe, you have to change your dialect. Just move from Ghana to Togo, 2 countries that share a border. You have to change your dialect. Can we survive on this? Africa, a mother of 1,000 languages. Can we develop with over 2,000 languages in a continent? This is Final Voice TV. If you're watching me now, what you can do now is to subscribe, like this video and share. And please, leave a comment in the comment section. Can we, as a people of a continent, rely on over 3,000 languages and develop? Can we develop with over 3,000 languages as a people? When I return from a break, my guest, Mr. Mitchell Mahachi, shares with me lessons that we can learn from continents or countries that have a single language. Just a language. What cue can we take from these countries or these continents? I'll be right back.
Dear viewer, kindly like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell to receive more videos.
Yeah, so it's about Africa. A nice continent with so many resources, nice people. I mean, a continent of many potentials. There is one thing that we've not checked. The over 3,000 languages. How do we make it? If you come to Europe, Central, West, or East Europe, you have countries with their languages. But they've made strides when it comes to development. Some have not dumped their languages. They are still using their languages. You go to Germany or you come to Germany, they use the Deutsch. Go to Holland, they use the Dutch. English, use the English. If you go to other countries like France, they use their French. So they've not dumped their languages. They use them, but how did they develop? In our situation, in Ghana alone, we have over 70 languages. In Nigeria, they have over 250 languages. Over. In Zimbabwe, several languages. In South Africa, go to the north, east, and central. Can we develop with over 1,000 languages? Africa, a mother of 1,000 languages. What is the problem? What can be done? What do we do?
Right, so the issue of languages is very, it's also very emotive. It's a very emotive topic because, you know, language, when someone says, this is my mother language, it's something that is very important to them. So in itself, having so many languages is not a bad thing. We actually notice that it helps for diversity, you know. So, but I just wanted us to look at 2 countries in particular. So we can actually look at India, for instance. So India is a country that actually has a population that is over 1 billion. And there are also so many languages that are also spoken in India. But however, I've actually noted that they actually have one language that is kind of common to all the various states that are within India. So whereas there are so many national languages, but it seems that almost everyone seems to speak Hindi, right? So in a way that actually facilitates development, because then it cuts through the whole nation of more than 1 billion people. So you also go to a country like the United States of America, which has also so many states that actually comprise the United States. So, but what you notice is that in all these states, it seems the English is common to all of them. So it's actually then not a barrier, because whether you are in Texas, whether you are in Florida, I don't know some of these states, yeah,
Boston,
yeah,
Worcester,
Massachusetts,
yeah.
or something like this. Yes. So, but you understand each other easily because the language is.
You meant
just
states,
one.
right?
Yes, states.
Massachusetts, not Worcester, not Boston.
Massachusetts,
Okay,
yeah.
Massachusetts, yeah.
Yes. So all these various states, you see, but they speak one language. So it's common to them that they speak one language. So when we come now to Africa, yes, we find that now we still have this situation where we actually have a pot full of so many languages. But in terms of development, we then actually have to come to a point where we actually concede that we need to have a common language that we can actually use. In as far as the African Union is concerned, so they put English, they put French, finally they put Swahili, because all this time they had actually omitted Swahili as a national, as an official language within the AU. And I think that is actually a good thing for a start. So if the whole of Africa then could be put into either of these three languages, is like the main language which could actually be used throughout Africa. And then we also now have Portuguese as well, which I had also omitted. So let's say we have not so many languages, right? But that is not to say probably in the schools we totally remove these subjects. But in terms of commerce, let's have fewer languages so that it makes it easier for trade to actually take place. So this is my view, that fine, let's maintain our languages, because language is very important, as I shall explain later. Like we get into the schools, and in our school systems, you actually need a language that you are using frequently for you to understand. So you'll find that in most of our schools, this is where the there's a sort of a disjoint, in that you are given English as the language of instruction, and you are at school from, let's say, 8 until 1, right? And English only, that's when it is being used. So the moment you woke up and the moment you went to school, you were using another language. The moment you get to school, you start then to say, let's use English or let's use French.
Let's use English, and they even term your local language as vernacular.
Yes, as if it's not so important. Right?
Vernacular.
Vernacular, yes. And then, so you'll find that even the percentage of the pass rate is actually very low, particularly within the rural areas. So this is because of this aspect of the language. And year in, year out, I think the national pass rate in my country for all ordinary level is around 20%. It has never gone above 30% as far as I know. So we are actually saying this 70%, we actually failed these people because of the language. And I think this actually applies throughout Africa. But coming back to this issue of unity and development. So what can we then do with all these languages that we actually have? So what is actually crucial is that we should actually be looking into a common, say, monetary system, for instance. So our monetary system, like we notice in the EU, they actually use the European euro, right? So this euro, whether you are in Italy...
Not cutting it short.
Yes.
We're trying to say that the over 2,000 languages itself is causing disunity.
Okay.
Because you don't even feel traveling from one nation to the other nation. Then in currency also comes in.
Yeah, it's something else, yeah. So the currency then actually worsens the situation, because then we have, from South Africa, you have the rands. You come to Zimbabwe, we have Zimbabwean dollars. And then you go to Malawian kwacha, Zambian kwacha, the Namibian dollar, all these
Nigerian naira.
All the different currencies then that actually we start to have. Now, just recently, Africa came up with the Africa Free Trade Area Agreement.
Yeah.
And we actually seeking to harmonize the trade. But how can we facilitate it when we do not have a single currency? So it actually makes it really difficult that we have, for instance, we have groundnuts being sold in Kwacha in Malawi, and you want to buy them in Zimbabwe, right? And how then do you value that they are so much in terms of US dollars? Because probably your end market is going to be maybe Australia. And then so you change them from the Kwacha to Zim dollar to the Australian dollar. Whereas you could have just used one currency that would really help the situation. So the issue of currency is actually a paramount.
Final Voice TV, if you're watching us now, what you can do is to leave a comment in the comment section. Let's discuss something. Will the over 1,000 languages in Africa help us unite so fast? Doesn't this even restrict movement? Because if I can't speak so well, if I can't express myself so well in the next country to mine, why do I even bother to go there? Why should I even bother to go to the next country, to Ghana, if I can't speak their local dialect? And the worst of it all is that in Ghana, we use English as an official language. You go to the neighboring country, Togo, they use French. So how do you cope? Are you getting the story? Subscribe, like this video and share, and leave a comment in the comment section so we all share ideas. Going for a break, I'll be right back. So, we are back. Language is an important thing to be discussed. If there is no communication, there is no development. That is my thinking. If you can't communicate with each other, if we can't communicate with ourselves as a people of a continent or in a country, how do you develop from there? I mean, you cannot.
That's true.
What else do you add when it comes to language being a barrier in Africa?
Yeah, so another point actually with this aspect of language is, like, we just left this issue with the schools. So you realize the way that we learned in the schools, the language that was used, we touched it a bit briefly before. But for instance, the things were divorced from the ordinary life that we live on a day-to-day. I remember one time there was an examination paper at O level, and the comprehension question were actually looking at the life of an osprey. This type of bird called an osprey. So it's a very large bird, and it's a bird of prey which preys on various other like fish and other animals. So, and this was, you know, in
A level.
O level, ordinary level.
Ordinary level.
Yes.
Examination.
So the moment you open the paper and the question, the word that you meet there is osprey, and you don't know what an osprey is, right? Or already you are off guard, right? You're taken off guard because you don't know where this is going to take you. So many people actually failed this paper because, you know, these things were really foreign to them. But coming back earlier, even when you go to nursery school,
the kindergarten stages.
Kindergarten, right? You are told about Humpty Dumpty. So Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a grade 4. Humpty Dumpty, you know, he was broken into pieces, and they couldn't put him back together.
If you come to Ghana, they are like fox. Go into the box. No. Why?
Yeah. So you ask yourself, what is a fox? Fox. So these things are foreign. At this level, you might make it's like a human now comedy. But at this level, when you are being taught these things, Baba, black sheep, have you any who?
Baba, black sheep, have you any who?
So you don't even know what is a sheep. You don't understand what is who. So have you any? Yes, sir. So you find that, you know, this actually disconnects children, from education, and it is actually a big barrier for learning. So this is something that I think the authorities should really look into this, that we try to make a language or our school education system pattern after what our children can actually grasp.
Yeah, let's look at Europe let's say Australia, let's say China. These are large countries, big continents, but they're developing. They have different languages, but they tend to click.
Yeah.
What is causing this, or what causes this?
Right. The other thing that also unfortunately didn't happen for Africa, which happened for other regions, is that there was a point where there was like leadership which was uniform throughout a larger part of the area. So if you go to China, for instance, you find that there was a kingdom that spread throughout the whole of China. There was also a kingdom, Julius Caesar, that actually spread out through Europe. Or Hannibal the Great, Alexander the Great, all these people actually ruled for expanses of land. So you come to Africa.
King Henry.
King Henry and all these wars that they fought. So they actually then created a system. Because then when you were conquered, you had to take the language of the conqueror. You had to take the money of the conqueror. Probably even the religion of the conqueror.
Culture.
The culture. You know, it actually happened this way. So, unfortunately, this didn't happen in Africa. So we had smaller states. And the time that we were about to have larger states, so we would read in our history about, for instance, the Mandinka Empire. We would read some more of the he was in the Mandinka as well. And we also read about Chaka.
Chaka the Zulu.
The Zulu in South Africa.
The Ashanti Kingdom. You go to the kingdoms in Nigeria, some great kingdoms in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Morocco,
should be
Tunisia,
the Dahomey, right?
Dahomey in Benin.
In Benin.
In Benin, where women conquered the imperialists.
Yes. But unfortunately, they didn't cover like large expanses of land. So then we actually didn't have this experience where we kind of went under the same kind of system. This is why there are so many broken or smaller states that then covered Africa. So this one actually big disadvantage probably for us. Otherwise, things would have been different. We would have probably the same monetary system, the same road system, and all these kind of systems.
So if Africa had gotten one great ruler, say if the ruler had ruled for about 30 years, things would have been different. If nothing at all, we could have had similar cultures.
Yes.
That what you see in Ghana will not be far from what you will see in Togo. And what you will see in Zimbabwe will not be far from what you will see in Malawi or Zambia or South Africa.
Yeah, I truly believe that. That's what I believe.
Yeah, because when a French comes to Germany, the integration is a bit faster. When a Belgian comes from Belgium to Germany, the integration is faster.
It's also faster, yeah.
Look at Dutch, those in Holland. They even integrate in this system so faster than anywhere.
Yes.
Same as if a German should go to Netherlands. The culture, the environment, the buildings, the infrastructure, I mean, they look alike. It's just like what you have in your country. Elsewhere in Africa, we are divided. Culture, not the same. Currency, not the same. Language, not the same. So how can that continent even do business? I mean, how do we develop faster? That is the bane. That is the language issue has bedeviled Africa. And just as you pointed out, if we can start now working on some languages in our schools, it will help in the future. Let's get our own system. Let's have our language as a people. And let's develop our continent and our nations in Africa. This is Final Voice TV. This is where we end today's show on Mother Africa, a mother of 1,000 languages. It's a sad story, but what else can we do? We need to act faster. We need to be proactive by making sure we have a system of communication that allows me to move freely from Ghana to Zimbabwe, from Zimbabwe to South Africa, from South Africa to Morocco without any stress. I don't have to be an artist. I don't have to be an athlete before I'll have a stress-free visa to Zimbabwe. Now, it's like if you want to move faster from one nation to the other nation, and even tour Africa without any stress, just get one hit song or be an athlete. And you can roam the whole of Africa. An average African cannot travel from his country or her country to the other country because you will be thinking of language. You'll be thinking of the currency to use, the culture, which may be so different from what you have in your country. This is not helping Africa. This is how we tell the story. This is a pure African narrative. And thank you for coming on the show, Mr. Mitchell.
Thank you.
We will continue relying on you for facts and information which will be useful for Africa.
Thank you.
Final Voice TV, we end here.